I just want to tell people the truth that, I know I've been talking about Dr. Sebi for many years. People that know me personally know, because I didn't hide it. I shared that truth with everybody that I know, that Dr. Sebi was onto something. And I try not to be preachy and overbearing about herbalism or being an herbivore, taking on the herbivore diet. But for those who are struggling with an ailment and you want to get cured, not treated, the best way to do that is to go herbivore for at least 90 days, at the very least. And sometimes it has to be a lifetime decision depending on how far deep the ailment has gone into the body. If it's just the beginning stages, maybe 2 weeks could help. But if you've been living with a lifetime disease, you might have to make a lifetime decision to change that. And like I said, I'm not trying to change anybody. If you don't want to change, you don't have to. But don't stand in someone else's way. Don't violate their free will to change their ways and to change their decision, because it's going to come back on you, and you're going to end up being put in a desperate situation to where you have to choose between integrity and power. Don't put yourself in that situation. White people are doing that all the time. Choosing, social status and power and greed and pride over what they know, what their conscience is telling them. A lot of them, you can tell by the way that they look. You can tell that their intuition is telling them to stop acting the way that they're acting. You can tell that their intuition is warning them that if they continue to indulge in their vices or their addictions or bullying or racial profiling, that they're going to get in trouble, and they know it. They just can't help it. And I understand. I just want y'all to know the reason why white people are so desperate is because they know that there's no way around it. They're going extinct. It's either they have two choices: to pay their karmic debt and self-sacrifice, or get wiped off the planet and possibly sent to the underworld, depending on what they did. Because a lot of white people, the majority of white people, are not going to a good place. And that's because they were set in their ways, they were greedy, they were cruel, they were prideful, and they were selfish. And they know what they have coming their way. And instead of taking advantage of the information that they were given and the warnings that they received, they just continue to just dive nose deep into their cruelty and their hatred towards people of color, their racism. They know that their racism is responsible for why their health is declining. They know that their racism is responsible for why they're being socially isolated, why people don't talk to them anymore, why people don't support them anymore, why people are disrespecting them and attacking them and bullying them. They know that their racism is responsible for it, and instead of taking heed to that warning, they just choose to dive deeper into it. They're set in their ways. And I mean, me personally, I don't know what excuse they have for the way they are, for why they are the way they are, because if we're going to be scientific, not every person on this planet is human. Like, a lot of us have extraterrestrial origins, but the way you treat somebody is not determined as to whether or not you're terrestrial or extraterrestrial. It's just draconians make a choice to be the way that they are. Nobody knows why they're like that, why they choose to be that way, why they choose to act like that, why they look down on people and sexually harass and catcall. Nobody knows why they do that. I don't know if it's an insecurity or what, but there are other extraterrestrial species that are on this planet that don't act like that. So, I can't, it's time to stop giving white people excuses, man. Saying that they're not human. It's a lot of us here that are not human. It's a lot of us here that are not human. but we don't act like that, you know. So it's, you know, I just feel like it's time to start holding white people accountable for how they behave and the effect that their behavior has on people. And it's time that we really start getting on them, because a lot of them, you know, some of them are not even really like racist like that. They just be doing stuff like that because of either peer pressure or, you know, they want to be about some action. And I get it, but it's like, bro, like some of them, they just, I don't know. I'm really trying to understand and not be judgmental, but some of them just act the way that they act because of peer pressure. Like, not all of them are like that. Sometimes you can kind of tell, like, you know, some of them, they're not really racist, they're just assholes. You know, some of them, you know, don't participate in racial profiling, but they have the power to stop it, and they choose not to. You know? You know what I mean? Just like not all black people are saints, and not all of them are revolutionaries. Some of them, you know, help white supremacy stay alive. Some of them help Decepticons racially profile their own people. You know, so I'm not going to... I'm trying not to stereotype either. It's just, if you find out that your people are dying, I understand that desperate times call for desperate measures, but there's a better way to handle it than to make it worse. You know, like, there's a way to prevent from going extinct, just like there's a way to ensure your survival, to reverse any ailment. There's always a way to turn it around, but white people just refuse. A lot of white people refuse to, and then they block their own children from being able to do the right thing. You know, they peer pressure their children into taking pictures with the Klan. They peer pressure their children into just these racist philosophies. And their children, a lot of times their children don't even believe that. Even their children don't even believe in that. I don't know. I don't understand. I guess, you know, pride is like one of the biggest, I don't know, crutches that I've been aware of. 'Cause sometimes people will like know that they're wrong about something, and they just, instead of embracing what you're telling them, they'll just get jealous of you, and they'll just try to destroy your life, put you behind bars, you know, because of who you are and what you represent or how you articulate yourself. It gets under their skin, instead of just walking away and leaving you alone. I don't understand why some people overcompensate. I don't understand why some people act like that, especially when their behavior is killing them and they know it. Like, a lot of them, the reason why they're so desperate is because they know that their hate, their cruelty, it's killing them. They know it, but they're like, well, instead of, you know, going to go talk to a therapist, I'm just going to energetically feed off of indigenous people. And the universe isn't standing for it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's at a point now, I don't know if who has noticed this or not. When I share these things, I'm being spiritually guided to share them. So I don't mean to be condescending. I don't know what you guys know, what you guys don't know, but the universe isn't standing for it anymore. Like, a lot of them will, you know, like, they'll talk trash. They'll laugh at you and try to make you feel insecure. They'll try to embarrass you to, like, harvest your energy. But I don't know. I noticed that it's not working anymore. Like, when they keep trying to feed off of people's energy, I know that those tactics used to work in the past. But when they do it now, it's like, I don't know, like, they're giving away all their, I don't know the word for it. They're giving away all their potential energy. And they're giving it away to the people that they bully and harass. Like, you ever notice that, like, some of the people who have been like self-preserving, and you see like some of them are getting bullied, how some of them are healing and they're like blessed, and you wonder like, dang man, this person is getting disrespected and humiliated and trafficked and attacked and poisoned, and they're still like healing. How does that happen? That's because, I mean, this is something I've noticed. Like, I've seen other people being treated the way I got treated, and they went from being sick to healthy. I seen it with my own eyes, and I seen them like get bullied and teased, and some of them got attacked, and then I see them later, like 2 months or 6 months later, and they look better than they ever had before the bullying started. And I don't know, I just started noticing that the universe is like protecting people who are being mistreated, but they are trying to redeem themselves, and they're trying to, like, be a good person. They're practicing self-preservation. They're not trying to be tough. They're not trying to engage in the bullying or anything. I've noticed that the universe started protecting a lot of those people, and those petite people that are targeted individuals. I started noticing how a lot of them start healing. A lot of them, like them being harassed and bullied and disrespected, and then how a lot of them started healing and like doing a lot better for themselves and like being happier and becoming better people. Some of them even reached out to me and started helping me and showing me support. And I started noticing that. And then the ones who were like nasty and hypocritical and body shaming and talking trash and being bullies, I started noticing how a lot of them are like, they may not know it. I don't know if they've been diagnosed, but you could tell like they're terminally ill. Like they're on their way out. I don't mean no disrespect or threats, but I started noticing like a lot of people who were bullies, like in the past, how they got a lot of fuel from that. They got, a lot of energy from that. Some of them even packed on some muscle or packed on weight from engaging in a parasitic energy exchange with people. But now I see things turning around. Like the universe is draining the people who are parasitically feeding off of others. A lot of them are losing a significant amount of weight. A lot of them are in wheelchairs. A lot of them, they're missing teeth. A lot of them have aged prematurely, like how they've done to the children that they molested. They aged those children prematurely, so now they're being forced to age prematurely. And those children that they molested that aged prematurely look younger. I've noticed that. I've noticed it. Like when you're in the victim circle, you can recognize other victims, that are good people. When you're a good person, you recognize people who are like-minded. You know what I'm saying, that are spiritually aligned with you, and you start to notice things. I started noticing that a lot of victims, when they take care of themselves, when they just stay out of the drama and they stay out of the bullying and they don't feed into it and they stay away, they look really good. And if you had seen me maybe like 5 years back, I looked like I was on my deathbed. But what I look like now, I look a lot better from when I was, because I used to engage in a bully. I used to try to be tough, and I used to try to check people, and sometimes I struggle with that because of my pride and my anger. But I've learned that not engaging in that behavior at all, minding my business, staying humble, not challenging people's sense of self, heals a lot faster than taking medicine every day. Like, the universe is protecting victims and draining the life out of narcissists. The universe is draining the life out of Decepticons. And it's like, because they're so parasitic, they're kind of stuck in their own energy. You know what I mean? Like, they can't, it's like, even if they know that they should stop, even if they wanted to stop, they probably couldn't at this point, because their time's up. And they know that their time is up. So what they do, Do what gives them that energy, because they feed off that negative supply. Like that's their most potent supply, especially if they're jealous of you or